Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at energy fuels. It is time for another update, and on this chart we are still tracking the high potential that we have here based on this 1-2 setup that has formed from the all-time low, where now we could be expecting a very strong third wave to the upside, which we have quite high targets for, and I have provided you this previously. But we would be looking at an ideal target at around the 138.2% extension around the $130 level. Now, there is the possibility of this chart forming something like an ABC structure to the upside. In fact, based on the internal structure that we are tracking within this pattern to the upside, there is quite a high likelihood that it would form such a pattern, and we need to be very much aware that it is very much a risk, but in either case we would still expect at least an additional fifth wave to the upside to have a complete structure formed, at least in an ABC pattern, if not something more bullish. And in that case, we have been tracking this idea to the upside for quite some time now, where we had an initial 1-2 setup in this area, and then we were tracking a large third wave that would be occurring to the upside. And within this wave 3, we could be expecting a possible top now. We could have topped here within the wave 3, but I have counts that would still allow further extension to the upside, some of them much more bullish, in fact, where it would really be a series of 1-2 setups that have formed in this area, and in that case we could still follow a very strong and impulsive third wave to the upside. Now, considering that we may have topped here in a wave 3, if we really did, we are expecting to form a fourth wave correction in which we are looking to reach the area between the $17.6 level all the way down to the $10.7 level, which represents the area of support for such a correction now in a wave 4, part of an impulse to the upside. Now, the structure that has been forming here does allow for multiple interpretations, even from a larger perspective, where realistically we could even be looking at a diagonal structure overall to the upside, but I prefer, at least for now, to be tracking an impulse. Now, as I was mentioning, it is possible for us to be tracking continuation higher, where we would still be tracking a higher high within this wave 3, and we have been tracking this idea for a couple of videos already now, where in the white scenario we would only track that we have completed a wave 1, a wave 2, and this would be the third wave up. We would now be in the fourth wave correction, and we could be looking even at this point already for the fifth wave to the upside. And then of course we have the blue interpretation that would suggest that we had a 1, 2, 3, 4th and the 5th, and the entire structure is complete within the larger wave 3 in green. But based on the proportions, I do kind of prefer the white interpretation. I do prefer still another high within this fifth wave to the upside, and it is not impossible for the wave 5 to be the longest wave within a structure, but it is not necessarily the most likely scenario either. So in that case, we will be tracking continuation to the upside as long as we hold this area of support that we have here in white between the $22.5 level all the way down to the $16.3 level. And in the previous video, we had formed a possible 5-wave structure to the downside within this wave A, and I was suggesting with quite high likelihood we should be looking out for this area of resistance between the $21.7 level all the way up to the $25.2 level, where we are likely going to explore lower prices within a correction in an ABC pattern, part of this larger wave 4. I wasn't discarding the possibility that we might have bottomed, but the probabilities suggested that we would form an additional low within this area, and it seems to be playing out in such a way. And before we get into this wave C to the downside, I would like to point out that the ideal target for such a wave C is generally the 100% extension of the wave A, which in this case is just below the 61.8% retracement at the $16.11 level, And it doesn't need to get there. It certainly doesn't need to stop there. Other interpretations are possible. Yeah, we do have the green scenario where we could be already in the larger wave 4. But I find pretty good odds that we might find at least a relief rally from at least this level at the 61.8% retracement. And internally within this structure to the downside, I am exploring a couple of possibilities. Now, it isn't necessarily too easy to determine the exact structure that would be forming to the downside. I could argue that this would be something like a 1, 2, and then possibly another 1, 2 in this area. This could be a third wave down. We could be looking for a couple of 4, 5, 4, 5 patterns to have the complete structure internally. But we are generally looking for a 5-wave structure to the downside, and I could argue that, this may be just a 1, 2 in this area. This would be the third wave complete within an ABC structure, although not even that does look too good, but it is on a very small time frame, and it is difficult to be tracking. Those get invalidated all the time, which is why it is generally better to zoom out on the chart and watch the larger time frame. Now, I cannot really discard even the possibility that this is the wave 1, this is the wave 2, and we get an ABC pattern within the wave 3. Yeah, we need to be watching out for that, which is why I will have to give you an absolute level of resistance for the 78.6% retracement, where that would be the real indication that we probably have already bottomed. And another reason why I am considering that we will be looking at this white retracement with the white scenario where we are looking for another high, likely to at least form a relief rally, is that from a support area perspective, we did find quite significant support previously at the 38.2% retracement a couple of times here. Now, we did open in both instances where we ended up below the support area. We opened within such levels, but immediately we found recovery to the upside, and now once again when we got to the 50% retracement at the $18 level, we found support, and we are again forming a relief rally, at least if we have not already bottomed. Remember, other interpretations are possible. Something like a WXY pattern would allow a bottom in this area. Not my preferred interpretation, but it is possible. So if you really want to make sure that you want an entry on this chart, it is not a bad area to enter at this point. Now, in general, I would still be looking for continuation to the downside as long as we stay below the 78.6% retracement here at the $21.5 level. And if we manage to break that, I would at least look for a different pattern that would allow further downside, but it is possible at that point that we would be in the fifth wave to the upside, in which we expect to form an ABC pattern to complete a larger structure here within the wave 3. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.